What I did on my summer vacation. My family and I went to see Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark, that's not real. And like they're wearing like Disneyland and Harry Potter stuff. But this is not the gotcha that they think it is. Like, people that go to Disneyland and, you know, Harry Potter studio tours or Universal and all of those places, those people are aware that those things aren't real. No one's going to Disneyland going, man, I sure do worship Disney as my religion. But them comparing the two and saying that, aren't these people silly for saying Noah's Ark isn't real while wearing things that they visited, aware of the fact that they aren't real? Not the gotcha you think it is. They're basically just saying, I don't actually believe that Noah's Ark is real because I'm comparing it to a bunch of fictional things. That's what they're saying. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be returning once again to r/religiousfruitcakes. Now, before we begin, I want to make it explicitly clear, okay, that bigotry will not be tolerated. The subject and purpose of these videos isn't to say that religion is bad and that people shouldn't follow religions, okay? That's not the purpose of these videos. If you are Christian, Muslim, Jewish, pagan, anything, it's valid that you follow those religions, okay? What the purpose of these videos is calling out religious hypocrisy. You know, it's calling out people that follow these religions and weaponize that as a way of oppressing other people. That's what the subject of these videos is, okay? So I won't tolerate bigotry in the comments. I'm not going to tolerate people acting on religion just for being religion. I'm not going to tolerate religious people acting on queer people, you know? I'm not going to tolerate any of that in my comments. I will tolerate legitimate discussions about people's experiences, people talking about their experience with a religious person being bigoted towards them, things like that. Valid, that's a part of this discussion, but I won't tolerate outright bigotry, regardless of who it's directed at. And a very quick other side note before we begin is, by the way, I stream over at Twitch every Thursday at 7 PM UK time, so go check that out. If you can't make the streams, I also have a live channel on YouTube now where I upload all of the videos afterwards, so if you ever wanted to catch them on there, you can. If it's ever worth it, I might start live streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch, but it will all be over there, so if you ever want to catch me live, none of it's really going to be on this channel, because in my past experiences of trying it, it's actually harmed the channel, so we're not going to be doing that on this channel. But those do exist as a thing, and I would like to do them more often if it's ever worth it, so definitely go check those out if you want to see me doing that kind of thing. Right, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? So only some people can identify. I self-identify as a woman. So great, awesome, you're stunning. I self-identify as an African American. You're an inspiration. Beautiful, yes. I self-identify as a cat. Good for meow. So brave. Hero. I self-identify as a Christian. Boo, weirdo. Stop living in a fairy tale. Now, this immediately just brings out the one, it's a straw man, and two, it brings out the issue in these kinds of arguments, okay? Because people aren't saying you can't be Christian. People aren't saying, oh, it's wrong for you to be Christian, stop living in a fairy tale. Apart from like the people over at r/atheist, but that's just a different breed. We don't associate with those people. But the problem isn't that you're religious, it's that you're using religion as a tool for oppressing others, and you do it in this exact post. The person who made this post in this exact post is using this as a tool of belittling and delegitimizing trans people. This whole post is, they literally say that they are comparing it to living in a fairy tale, okay? As stated in the last one, they're using these straw men like I self-identify as a cat or a white person identifying as African American, you know, they're using those straw men to belittle trans people. So when people have issues with you and the views you hold, OP, who created this post, it's not that they have issue with you being a Christian, it's they have issues with the fact that you're using that as an excuse to belittle trans people and other minorities. That's what you're doing. That's what they have issue with, not the fact that you're Christian. I have a PhD in astrophysics. I am published in multiple peer-reviewed scientific journals. My research research in sunspot activity has, do you believe in evolution? No. So you don't believe in science? Since when did the idea of evolution evolve into science? Right, look, this is an interesting one, but first of all, note that the guy that's saying he has a PhD in astrophysics, nothing he stated in this whole thing correlates to evolution anyway. But like, if he came out and said he has a legitimate peer-reviewed theory for an alternative to evolution that has been researched, has merit, and has evidence, then yes, that would be believing in science. However, nothing like that stated here. The implication here, because it's after Eden again, the implication here is that evolution doesn't exist because God does. But those two things aren't mutually exclusive. The evidence we have on this earth, the physical evidence that we are able to view and study, correlates with evolution. Now, if you believe in a God, that doesn't mean evolution doesn't exist. In fact, I believe that it's likely that there might be a God. I don't think any religions are correct, but that's my opinion. But I think if there is a God, he may well have influenced evolution. That may well have been a tool used by God. Like, neither of them disprove the other, but this person has no other theories. They have no other scientific theories that they're expressing. They're just saying, I don't believe in evolution. The end. They don't believe in the most widely believed, it's got the most evidence to support it and back it up, the most evidence there that it's real, and they're just going, I don't believe in it. That is not believing in something very, very backed up by science. Just saying. Right, we got a video here, and oh boy, is this a good one.
I recently watched a video of an elementary school teacher who openly worshipped Satan and dabbled in witchcraft. And while her students were sitting at their desks during their quiet time and while she was sitting at her desk, she essentially would try to pierce them with spiritual darts of all things darkness in that world. But one thing that she said was she could tell which kids had parents that were praying over them or kids that were praying because those kids were surrounded with a ring of fire that she could not penetrate with anything she was trying to get through to them. And that ring of fire is the blood of Jesus that covers them. And while that's scary to think about, it's so encouraging to know that as a parent, our prayers are that powerful and they cover our kids. And we have all power and all authority through Jesus and through the blood of Jesus to pray that and to plead that over our kids to where no darkness can touch them. So I wanted to encourage all parents with that today, that your prayers matter so much. And even when you don't feel like it, or when you don't feel like you're doing enough, your prayers are powerful and they cover them and they are what make your kids untouchable.
Now, I've talked about this in the past, but like, if you can't make a point without making up a story to back up that point and claiming it's real, your point sucks. If you want to pray for your family and you believe that prayer works, like, go for it. Good for you. That's a thing you can believe in. But to just outright lie and be like, oh, I watched a video about an elementary school admitting that she believed in Satan and witchcraft and was trying to like pierce her students with darts of darkness? No. That's just a lie. Because, I mean, why would a teacher even admit that? Like, but also, I've got to mention something, okay, that I feel is a really, like, poignant point, okay? That is, people like this woman seem to believe that God will only protect you if you outright worship him, which to me sounds incredibly spiteful and selfish, okay? If you believe that God is the creator of the entire universe and all life on it, to say that he will only protect you, a God that knows all, he knows everything, he is everywhere, he is omnipresent, omnipotent, everything, omniscient, but he will only protect you if you have Christian parents. That seems like a pretty spiteful being to me. He's literally everything and everywhere, and he will only protect you if you pray for him. He knows what's happening. He knows what's happening to you. He knows you need protection. He knows what's best for you, but he will only follow through with it if you ask. That's pretty spiteful to me. What about people brought up in non-Christian households? What about people that don't have that option. People who were never educated. F them, I guess. Sucks to be them. They don't have that chance. Like, this is the part that I don't get about views like this. It's like, a god wouldn't make it so that you have to be one specific religion to have a chance to go to heaven, to have a chance to be protected by him. That makes no sense. None. Because billions of people don't have that opportunity. Discussing God with an atheist is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how well you play, it'll just knock over the pieces, strut around, and act like it won anyway. Now, this chess analogy is actually a really interesting one here, because discussing God with someone like Wendell is like trying to play chess on this fucking chessboard, okay? None of the pieces are the same color. They vary in size and shape. None of them are on any of the places that they should be, and in fact, the white and black squares are randomly arranged in sometimes rectangles connecting white to white or black to black. They'll give you a board like that, with pieces like that, with rules that don't make sense, and then they will gaslight you into playing that chess game. And then when you go, no, I'm not going to play by these rules because you have not set out a fair game or fair discussion, they will go, you can't disprove that God's real, that's my argument one, and then they'll slap a fucking pigeon on the board. Like, there are people that you can have legitimate discussions about religion with, and you can learn things. You learn things about their religion, about their views. But then there are people like Wendell who throw out straw mans and use a chessboard that makes no sense and forces you to play that game of chess that makes no sense. When I get to heaven, I hope God allows me to peer down into the depths of hell and watch all the atheists burn. If you genuinely believe that heaven and hell are real, and you genuinely believe that people would burn just for being atheists, I wholeheartedly believe that following your own train of belief, you are not getting into heaven. If you genuinely want to watch atheists burn, you would not get into that heaven that you think that atheists are not making it into, because that is spite, that is wrath, that is pride. You're not making it, buddy. Now, I don't believe in a hell. I don't believe that any god would be bitter enough to punish someone for eternity. I think that is fucking heinous. But the fact that Christians, not all, but like Christians like this, will throw out the view that they think that atheists are going to burn for eternity, and they're happy with that fact, is disgusting. It's a disgusting thing, and they throw it out so lightly as just a thing. They're just like, yeah, that's just the thing. All atheists are gonna burn for eternity. And I just think that's disgusting. I really do. Sheik thinks clapping on Deaf Man's ear will make him hear again. What this sheik has actually just achieved is discombobulate. First, discombobulate, then discombobulate. No, but I've said this about Christian spiritual healers, and it stands for any religion's spiritual healers. They are harmful. They are evil. If you go around acting like you can heal people because you're religious, you're harmful. You're going to stop people getting real treatment. Now, in this case, it's a deaf man. Not really anything can be done to like make him less deaf, unless it's like something degenerative that could actually harm his health if not treated, that he now wouldn't get treated. Not much is going to happen. But these kinds of healers will go to people with actual illnesses, you know, diseases, people with things like cancer and tumors, and they'll claim that they've healed them, and those people won't go and get actual medical health, and that's really dangerous. And quite often they solicit money for these things, which is actually despicable behavior, and that goes for any religion that partakes in this, whether it be Christian, whether it be a sheik doing it, whether it's Muslims doing it, Jews doing it, or anything else. If you're a spiritual healer that solicits money, shame on you. We live in a society that is abandoning God. You can't just throw out, we live in a society in the 21st century, dude. That's the Joker meme. But anyway, carrying on. We live in a society where homosexuals lecture us on morals, transvestites lecture us on human biology, baby killers lecture us on human rights, and socialists lecture us on economics. Oh, it's one of those ones Look, the first thing that they open with is homosexuals lecturing us on morals. That's what you open with. That's the thing you consider worst on this list, is that you think that homosexuals are immoral? You think it's bad for a homosexual to have a view on morals? There's nothing wrong with homosexuality. Absolutely nothing. And to open with that fact, to open with the fact that you think it's immoral somehow, says everything I need to know. Everything. But then to go on, they don't call them transvestites, but also lecturing you on human biology. Well, it's clear that you don't know shit about human biology, and you're not willing to learn. But sure, go off, I guess. I mean, you think that being homosexual is immoral and not just a part of human biology is stupid. And also, socialists lecture us on economics because capitalism is working out so well, isn't it? It's not like we're currently at one of the biggest wealth divides in all of human history, is it? It's not like supermarkets are currently raising prices, dropping employees, and then behind the scenes declaring that they've hit the highest profit margins they have ever reached. It's not like we're literally being projected that we might see the world's first trillionaire soon. Capitalism hasn't worked, has it? The middle class is now non-existent, okay? That is gone. There is just a wealth gap. That's the world that capitalism has created. I need to turn this down, it's so loud. I don't know what this guy is trying to prove here. But I could do this. I genuinely believe I could do what this guy is doing right now. And I'll tell you why, okay? It's because this guy is using like a dozen like 5mm chains, like maybe like 2 to 3 centimeter at most. If he had, instead of, you know, 2 lines of 3 tiny little chains, 1 big chain, I guarantee he wouldn't be able to do this, because lining up the 3 chains doesn't increase their strength, because you break them one at a time. I could do this, and I'm not that strong. I'm not going to, because why the f would I? But I could do this. Like, and what's this proving? What is this proving about religion? The guy can't even walk properly. I don't understand, but apparently they fucking love it. There's a round of applause the whole time, music blaring in the background. I think most people could probably achieve what this guy has just achieved if they like really wanted to. I have no reason nor desire to, but I think I could. Using pronouns is anti-Christian. Do not use them. God created 2 genders, and God created man to his own image, male and female. He created. Genesis 1:27. Pronouns are an offense to all who believe in God. Pronouns mock God's creation. Do not mock God. Reject evil. First of all, someone never made it past elementary school English, huh? This is a constant thing. And it comes up so often is they have no fucking clue what pronouns are. They used multiple in this post alone. He, him is a pronoun. They, them, pronouns. She, her, pronouns. They're all pronouns. I is a pronoun. It's literally basic level English. But also, they use the whole, and God created man to his own image, male and female he created, as like the defining, like, there, it said man and woman, therefore that's all that exists. But it's fucking stupid, okay? Because that whole part of Genesis, it's not explaining absolutely everything that was created. It explains polar opposites, okay? Let's get it up, shall we? Let's go have a look at Genesis. Genesis 1:27. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. Now notice how at no point does it mention marshlands. Does it mention like Arctics? You know, like Antarctic or the Arctic, you know? It doesn't mention anything in between land and water, because there's a lot that isn't land or the sea. It says God created swimming fish and flying birds. It doesn't mention fucking penguins. They don't fly, they swim, they're birds. It doesn't mention flying fish. There's many things it doesn't mention because the point of it is that it is paraphrasing. If you believe that God made all, God made trans people, God made intersex people, the point was it was paraphrasing. It mentioned man and woman, the two things at opposite ends of the spectrum. It didn't mention anything in between because it doesn't mention anything in between for any of the fucking points. It's a null argument to say God only created man and woman because you're only taking that one verse at face value and none of the others where there are things in between that aren't mentioned. Do Christians believe penguins don't exist? Is that a point? They're not flying birds. I guess they don't exist because God didn't create them. No, what you see is not what matters. Intellectual reasons for atheism. Pornography, life tragedy, pride, selfishness, wanting to fit in, church hurt, not getting good answers, absent or abusive father. Now this one's really telling, okay? And what it tells us is this person has just absolutely dobbed in the environment that they have created of a church, okay? Because they have stated wanting to fit in as a reason people leave, church hurt as a reason for wanting to leave, and not getting good answers, okay? So what they've just told us is that if you have questions about the church or about their religion that they can't answer, rather than finding those answers and trying to help you find answers to your questions, they will alienate you. If you are queer, if you are trans or gay or anything like that, they will alienate you. Church hurts, they say, because they'll alienate you. You'll leave for wanting to fit in because they've alienated and isolated you, okay? They deem gay people and trans people as sinners. They deem people who can't find answers to their question as sinners, and as such, rather than actually help these people or understand them or help them find understanding, they alienate them and they oppress them. They say things like church hurts and they push them away, and then they blame them for wanting to be with people who accept them for who they are. That's what this person has just told us on their own is what they do. And I don't think they even realize that they've just said that, but it's really clear that that's what they do. And the final post, we've just got a funky little picture here, and I just find it so... Who gave conservatives AI image generators? Seriously, it's been the worst, but it's fucking Jesus in military garb with a gun, because as we all know, Jesus really approved of violence and war. It's not like the entire ethos and teachings of Jesus were the opposite of war and guns and weapons. It's not like he preached peace and love. Nah. Jesus would be out there with the soldiers with a gun. They don't have a fucking clue about their own books. I don't know if they've ever even fucking read their own books. I grew up religious. I went to seminary. I've studied the Bible, okay? I have a pretty good in-depth knowledge of a lot of it. And Jesus would not be on the fucking front line with a gun. He would be protesting the war. He would be with the hippies that conservatives hate. Also, why are there soldiers up in the hand luggage at the top? That's where I'm gonna end the video, everybody. Good. Brilliant. Amazing. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally, you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons who support me. It genuinely means so much, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you, everybody that does. Honestly, genuinely thank you. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.